Forces has a rank equivalent to that of the chief in the United States Navy. While it is true that all armed forces have two classes of rank, enlisted and commissioned, the United States Navy has a distinction of having an additional class of service, that of the Bureau-appointed Chief Petty Officer. This is what makes the title, Chief, even more distinctive. Although the pay grades E7 through E9 are equivalent to those of other services, the Navy is unique in that it confers much more authority and responsibility on the chief, while demanding more performance and results than any other service. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce U.S. Naval Forces Central Command, Vice Admiral Kevin Donegan. Admiral Donegan is a graduate of the University of Virginia, the U.S. Navy Test Pilot School, Navy Fighter Weapons School, Top Gun, Joint Forces Staff College, and completed Harvard's Kennedy School of Government Executive Education Program in National and International Security. His operational commands consist of Battle Force, 7th Fleet, and USS George Washington Carrier Strike Group, CSG, in Japan. Aircraft carrier, USS Carl Vinson. 3rd Fleet Command Ship, USS Coronado, and Strike Fighter Squadron, VFA 1, TAC 3, TAC 1. Ashore, Admiral Donegan's joint assignment was Director of Operations, J3, for United States Central Command. He served in the Pentagon as Acting Deputy Chief of Naval Operations for Operations, Plans and Strategy N3, N5, and Director of the Navy Quadrennial Defense Review. Ladies and gentlemen, Vice Admiral Donegan.
How's everybody doing? Great, sir. Okay, we're going to just talk just for a second here, because we want to get move along and get these hats on these brand new Chief Petty Officers. But a little bit of ground rules here, because with that superb marching and singing that we just heard, and of course the excellent MC we have, I want to set some ground rules for those that are here about to help these new chiefs get in, and that is, it's okay if your kids make noise. It's okay if they get a little rowdy or move around. That's fine. We all understand it. We're all family here, so relax about anything like that. Second, when it's time to get photographs and your sailors up here are about to become a Chief Petty Officer, do not miss the moment. Do not be embarrassed about coming up or having somebody else take a photograph or an extra one. Whatever you need to do to capture the moment, I want you to do. So now we'll get on here. Moving this along. So, anyway, so is everyone loosened up just a little bit? I know that there's a lot of people standing because we've got the entire Chiefs mess here in the back. Take a look around because you don't see this very often. It's pretty cool. But anyway, thanks for the great introduction and welcome, especially to the families and friends of the men and women that are about to embark on what I think is the greatest chapter of their careers. And thank you, Chiefs Mess, for allowing me to be part of this special day. And thanks to everyone that's put this event together. It has been an all-hands event, but run by the Chiefs. Most importantly, thanks to the CPO's mess that ran the CPO 360 training program that has given these about to become Chief Petty Officers the tools they need to be successful. Remember, I know one thing's for sure, there's not one of you that's going to remember anything that I say today. Okay, so that's why I'll be brief. But what I do know is you're going to remember the feelings that you had today. You know, a lot of studies about great speeches and such, and they're rarely about the words, they're generally about the emotion of the day. So it's not really about my speech, but I think you're going to have plenty of emotion today, and you're going to have a good feeling at the end of the day about this ceremony. So first I want to talk about why we're here. Being in the Navy for almost 37 years, I've seen my share of outstanding people doing incredible things. But the one thing that really makes me step back and say, wow, that one thing that has made me do that constantly, time and time again, is the unique, the strong, and the steadfast leadership of the United States Navy Chief Petty Officer. Of even greater importance is the power, collective power, of the Chief Petty Officer's mess. I've seen great ships, I've seen great squadrons and units, and none of the great ones could ever sustain their greatness without a strong Chief Petty Officer's mess. So now I'm going to talk just to the families a little bit and to the selectees. This ceremony is a result of your hard work and your leadership. You've proven to everyone here, most importantly to yourselves, that you have what it takes to lead as a Chief Petty Officer. But you haven't done it alone. You had the support, typically of a family member, a wife, a mom, a father, or in some cases another relative or good friend. So I want to take just a moment here and recognize that you didn't do this alone. And I'd like all the spouses, moms, dads, relatives, and close friends that are in this audience that has supported one of these about to become Chief Petty Officers to please stand. Don't be shy. If you've done that, please stand. Talented and capable sailors and naval leaders to wear the gold-fouled anchors and be called Chief. Here, you're minutes away from becoming part of this respected and exclusive fellowship. Congratulations to all of you standing up here. Just think about it. As soon-to-be chiefs, you're going to lead the next generation of the Navy and will influence its course and direction well beyond this tour or even the remainder of your career. That's a huge responsibility and one that I know you haven't taken lightly. And one look at this region that we're in now, and those that have traveled here to Bahrain kind of get a sense for it. On any given day, about 20,000 sailors of the U.S. Navy operate in 2.5 million square miles of our area of operations. Those men and women serving here are doing the most important work of any of our sailors in the world today. You're part of that. This region has 4 active conflicts, and our sailors are standing watch, directly engaged in combat operations, or supporting those conflicts, or helping prevent those conflicts from spilling into the maritime domain. Those sailors out there, they deserve outstanding deck plate leadership. They deserve effective mentoring, and they need you to be at your best. No excuses. The next generation isn't limited to the junior enlisted sailors you've been trusted with. Earlier, I talked about being a chief was unique. If you remember, I talked about 3 things, but one of them was unique. None of the other services except the Coast Guard charged their senior enlisted leaders with training junior officers and advising, leading senior officers like we do in our Navy. As a chief, you will no longer have the luxury of only leading down to your subordinates in the chain of command. Now, you have to also lead and mentor up the chain of command. Years ago, Ensign Donegan, this guy standing here, participated in this very, I don't want to say how many years ago, but it was a lot of years ago, participated in his very first CPO, CPO initiation it was called back then, and then there was a pinning ceremony, much like we're right here today. I was standing alongside a Chief Petty Officer Lemon. That chief learned that he had to, quite often, by the way, pull me aside at the right times and in the right way to ensure I was pointed in the right direction. Sometimes it wasn't comfortable for me. Sometimes I'm sure it wasn't comfortable for that Chief Petty Officer, but it was the right thing to do and it had to be done. Since then, that mentorship has continued in each and every command that I've ever been in. More recently with the likes of Master Chief Ray Evans on the USS Carl Vinson, Master Chief Glenn Mallow, who served with me both in Norfolk and in Japan, and now Fleet Master Chief Honey here in Bahrain. They were all masters at 3 things that you must now master now. Leading down, you've already done that, you've proven it. It's why you got here. Leading up and mentoring up. And perhaps most importantly, collaborating and leading is part of the Chief Petty Officer's mess. There is no instruction manual for this. No how to do book that's been written. The CPO 360 training has given you the tools, but you're going to have to find the way that works best for you. Lastly, I'd like to say to our new Chief Petty Officers, when you don the anchors, you will also have become they. Now, for the folks sitting down, you may not know who they is, but you will after this little story. We've all been in situations where we look around and we kind of don't like the way it's going, and we all say to each other, what were they thinking when they came up with this? Or what did they do? Or why are they doing it this way? Because we all have a better way of doing something. Well, these folks standing up here, when they put those golden anchors on, foul anchors on, and when they put their hats on, they will have become they. They will become part of the solution, as opposed to part of the problem or describing the problem. Well, I know you're going to do well. I know you're going to be successful mentoring up and working as a Chief Petty Officer's mess. And I know you will, since you are now they, you will make all the right decisions for the right reasons, for our sailors, our Navy, and our nation. So I'm going to close with this final thought. Chief Petty Officers do not run the Navy. They make the Navy run. So after hearing all this, I'm going to ask the chiefs in the front here, are you ready to be Chief Petty Officers?
Yes, sir.
How about this one? Navy Chief, Navy Pride.
Navy Chief, Navy Pride.
There we go. I knew it was in you. All right. There's going to be challenging times ahead. Love you guys. There will be challenging times ahead and times that will test you and make you doubt yourself. But as it says in the CPO Creed, which we're going to hear in a few minutes, challenge is good, a great and necessary reality which cannot mar you, which in fact strengthens you. You're about to enter an entirely new level of leadership, and it will be the most rewarding and challenging phase of your career. Make the most of this opportunity and those mentors who helped shape you and the chiefs that came before you proud. I wish each and every one of you the very best in your new role as Chief Petty Officer. Wear the hat with pride. Thank you for the opportunity to address you all here today. God bless each of you. God bless your families. God bless our nation. God bless our great nation. And we'll do it one more time. Navy Chief, Navy Pride.
Navy Chief, Navy Pride.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The goal of the Chief transition process includes congratulating, welcoming, inspiring, instilling trust, and motivating the Chief selectees, while simultaneously teaching leadership, establishing esprit de corps, promoting unity, building teamwork, and occasionally having some fun in the process. Selectees participated in group physical fitness, participated in core values discussions, and various leadership and teamwork training efforts. The training culminates with this pinning ceremony today. The Chief is required to be a fountain of wisdom, the ambassador of goodwill, and the authority on personnel relations, as well as the technical expert. They are charged with motivating sailors. It is the Chief's job to create an atmosphere where motivation is encouraged and rewarded. As well, it is the Chief's job to train and develop subordinates into leaders. The Chief is the key to the success of the mission. I will now read the presentation of anchors. The anchor is the emblem of the rank of the Chief Petty Officer of the United States Navy. Attached to the anchor is a link of chain and the letters USN. To the novice, the anchor, the chain, and the letters identify a Chief Petty Officer of the United States Navy. But to a chief, they have a much more noble and glorious meaning. The U stands for unity, which reminds us of the cooperation, harmony, and the continuity of purpose of action as chiefs. The S stands for service, which reminds us of the importance of our service to God, our fellow man, and our neighbor. The N stands for navigation, which reminds us to keep ourselves on a true course so that we may walk upright before God and with all mankind but most importantly, with our fellow chiefs. The chain is symbolic of flexibility and reminds us of the chain of life that we forge day by day, link by link. May it be forged with honor, morality, and virtue. The anchor is emblematic of the hope and glory and the means to keep us steadfast in our faith, to encourage us to abide in our proper station amidst the storm of temptation, affliction, and persecution. With this in mind, today you are presented the anchors of a Chief Petty Officer. Wear them with honor. The sponsors placed in the covers today were the Chief Select's lifeline to reality during this transition. They were charged with ensuring that each prospective Chief Petty Officer fully understood the rites of passage. They successfully guided their charges through the challenges several weeks and are here today to greet them as they join our ranks. Thank you, sponsors, for your hard work. We will now proceed with the pinning of each of our new chiefs. Please hold your applause until all personnel have been pinned. All newly advanced chiefs will be rung on board as FY17 chiefs arrive. Chief Selects and sponsors, attention! Chief Select Allen is being pinned by his wife Christina and son James. Chief Shaver will don his cover. Chief Select Cunningham is being pinned by his wife Rachel and daughter Ariana.